Hi, everybody. Welcome back.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Dinner's Going to Be a Little Late Tonight, Breakfast for Dinner edition.
Oh, I love breakfast for dinner. When I was a kid, that was the best thing ever. I think it was actually my mom saying they didn't have enough money to make anything but eggs and bacon for dinner. But nonetheless, for us kids, it was the best thing ever, breakfast for dinner. So today we're doing like a little bit of an upscale thing, right? A little bit, but it's still super easy. So we are going to make baked French toast, which is kind of like bread pudding in a way. Delicious, delicious stuff. And we're going to make brown sugared bacon, which is also super easy, but sounds really fancy. And Patty, what are we going to drink today?
Well, the theme with this is not just breakfast for dinner, but it's also a great Christmas morning, holiday morning brunch. And as you'll hear later, in my family, Christmas morning meant what else? Gin Fizzes. So we're going to have some Gin Fizzes today with our French toast and our bacon. Yum. So, John, before we get going, I know we got to get things going because we got to get our French toast in the oven. But I want you to know that one of my most fond memories of going to your house for dinner when we were in high school was having breakfast for dinner at your house. And my mother never made it. So I thought it was like the coolest thing in the world.
Did my mom make waffles?
I think she did. I think she made waffles. So.
That was my favorite. Oh, that's so fun that you were there for that. Yeah, that was like one of the big things, a big memory of when I was growing up.
That just gave me chills, that memory.
We've been friends a long time.
Long time.
Hey, so for those of you watching at home, we haven't really explained in a while why this show is called Dinner's Gonna Be a Little Late Tonight. And I think today, since it's the holidays and we're having breakfast for dinner and we're talking about
it's our 20th episode.
And it's our 20th episode, which is kind of a big deal.
Feels like
So the reason we call the show Dinner's Gonna Be a Little Late Tonight is because in high school, Patty and I have been friends since high school. I came home from wherever I was, and my mom who's always made dinner every night, incredible cook. She was sitting on the floor in the kitchen holding a glass of wine. And she looked up at me. I looked at her and I was like, what the? And she looked up at me and she goes, dinner's gonna be a little late tonight. And I lost it. I thought it was the funniest thing ever. So of course I have to tell Patty and our other friends about this. And it just has lived through the years as this kind of lovely joke about my mom who never, she did not drink except when she did. And I guess maybe one glass of wine and put her over the deep end. But yeah, dinner was a little late that night. And for us, Patty and I love to cook together and we love to drink together. So we usually end up making a dish and then talking about a wine pairing or a cocktail that goes along with it. So the Gin Fizz thing today is super appropriate.
It is. And I just want to point out, these are my pajamas. John and I were getting ready and he didn't even realize I was wearing my pajamas. These are my pajamas. This is not streetwear.
I'm actually glad to hear that. I was a little worried, but I wasn't going to say anything.
You better point it out. These are my pajamas.
I don't want to insult you, but how it's appropriate for today's meal.
Yeah, because it's breakfast for dinner. All right.
I get it. So do you want to, should we dive in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so because this takes a little bit of time to bake in the oven, we're going to do this in pieces, and we're going to skip to the end and then come back to the beginning. So I'm going to show you what it looks like after we've assembled the baked French toast, and then we're just going to put the topping on it. So this is bread and eggs and cream and all sorts of goodness, and we're going to tell you all about that. But I'm going to put the topping on it, and then I'm going to put it in the oven so that when the show is progressed, we can take it out and show you what it's like done. So the topping is brown sugar and butter and pecans, and that's it. And that is the easiest thing to put on the top of this. And when you put it in the oven and it bakes for a few minutes, that topping gets all caramelized and super yummy. and it bakes right into the bread. So now it looks like this. I've put the pecans and the butter and the brown sugar topping on the top, and I'm going to pop this in the oven.
I'm actually 5 minutes now. So I'm a couple minutes behind John. I'm making my topping in real time.
So why don't you tell us what you're doing?
Making the topping? Well, I'm putting the butter in the little saucepan, and I'm melting the butter, and then I'm adding some brown sugar, and then I'm going to add the pecans that have been chopped up, and then we're just going to let everything combine and get nice and bubbly until the sugar's dissolved. And then I'm going to put it on top of my bread, which has been soaking overnight, this is a great thing about this recipe, which I didn't realize. What a great thing for like Christmas morning. You could make it the night before, and then you wake up and you just pop it in the oven, and you've got a really incredible breakfast ready to go, which I love.
You're right, because who wants to make breakfast on Christmas morning when all that craziness is going on and everyone's unwrapping presents, and the last thing you want to do is get up and go in the other room and make breakfast. So having it ready is a great idea. Hi, Sean. I'm really glad you love baked French toast too. Okay, so we start with, okay, you can do this the easy way or the kind of easy way. So Patty did it the easy way. I'm going to do it the kind of easy way. So the super easy way is to buy a loaf of white bread, cut it in diagonals, and lay it in a casserole pan like this. So that could not be easier. Cutting up white bread, 10 slices in diagonals, and placing it in the bottom of a casserole. If you want to go just one step beyond that, you get a loaf of bread like this, super soft sourdough or a challah or something like that is eggy and soft, and slice it. And then what I did was I cubed it. So the bread now looks like this. It kind of looks like, I don't know, stuffing mix or,
it's like breakfast stuffing.
But it's going to make the consistency, like when you cut it up into little, 1 or 2 inch squares, it's going to make it a little bit bread pudding-like. So I'm going to take that bread that I've cut into cubes, and I'm going to throw it into the casserole dish that I've pre-buttered so nothing sticks, and it's that easy. So there we go. I'm going to mush it down so that it's kind of all flat. And there it is. Okay? Super easy. All right. How you doing, Patty? Are you putting yours in now?
I put my topping on, and in it goes.
Okay. I'm going to go to the next layer of this, which is the sort of the milk and egg mixture we're going to pour on top of this bread, and the bread's going to soak it all up and get all like gummy, gooey, delicious, like a pudding. So I've got my 4 eggs already. I cracked them in here, but 4 eggs in a bowl. See? Well, you can't really see. But that's 4 eggs in a bowl. And I've got some whipping cream or heavy cream. And it calls for ½ a cup. So I'm putting ½ a cup of whipping cream, which is so good for you, right? So light.
Does it matter if it's heavy whipping cream or whipping cream?
No, you know what, Patty? Did you research the difference between those two things?
I was thinking about it, though.
Okay, if you're watching at home, do you know the difference between whipping cream and heavy whipping cream? Because I don't, and I would love to learn that.
I know that calories, there's a difference.
Well, maybe that's it. Maybe one is just more calories. That's more fat. So 2/3 a cup of regular milk. And I'm going to put a teaspoon of vanilla, because everything tastes better with vanilla.
Woo!
What was it last week? Elise isn't watching.
Butter.
Elise, are you watching? It was everything tastes better with butter, right?
Okay, the other thing about this recipe, John, was what I did, because this recipe makes lots of portions. It's easy to cut in half too, which is another great thing.
Easy to cut in half, easy to freeze.
Love that.
Make it the night before. If you're going to have it for breakfast, stick it in the refrigerator. Don't put the topping on it, but stick the bread and the egg mixture in the refrigerator to soak overnight. So when you take it out in the morning, put the topping on it, toss it in the oven. We're doing it all at once right now, but you can break it up that way. I made 2 of these, and so I'm going to put one in the freezer. And so I guess maybe we'll eat that on Christmas morning. But tonight we're having breakfast for dinner. So I mixed together these eggs and this cream and this milk and this vanilla, and now I'm pouring all that mixture over the bread, which is already in the casserole dish. So I'm trying to make sure I coat each piece of bread, so I'm pouring it carefully over the top so that each piece of bread gets a little bit, and that way it'll soak it all up and become the bread pudding-ish mixture that this dish is so good at showing us. So now I have this, which is where we started the show.
Whoa.
So this needs to sit for a bit because the bread needs to soak up all of the egg and milk goodness, which is why I wanted to do it in pieces, because otherwise we'd be here all day. So that's soaking. We're going to make the topping next, which is going to go on top of this while it's soaking. And again, Patty just made it, and I'm going to make it again just to show you. Super easy. Half a stick of butter. What is it? How many pecans?
3/4 of a cup.
3/4 cup pecans and brown sugar.
Yep, 1/4 cup of brown sugar. I love brown sugar.
I do too.
Of any form.
And it's got, I think it's brown because it has molasses in it. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yep.
Yum.
So I'm going to melt the butter over medium heat, and then I'm just going to put all the pecans and the brown sugar in there, and we're basically candying the pecans. Mm-hmm. So as soon as the brown sugar has sort of dissolved in this butter and soaked into the pecans, that's when it's done. Literally like 5 minutes.
Yeah. I don't even think it took that long. And
What did you have growing up for Christmas? Was there like a Christmas morning dish that you had every morning?
Well, my mother's pancakes that I make now are.
So you have pancakes?
Yes, but not just any pancakes. My mother created her own recipe for pancakes because, going along with the theme, my father didn't like, Bisquick pancakes. So my mom created these pancakes that are a cross between a pancake and a crepe, and they're delicious. So passing it down the generations, my kids completely expect pancakes on Christmas morning.
So your poor mom, did your dad eat anything without saying, I don't like this, and she has to change the recipe?
No, she was a great cook, and she liked, I like this. Let's try that. I don't know. But she was a fabulous cook. Maybe that's why she drank, because my mother did drink. She didn't just drink once in a while.
We know.
Well, our moms were great cooks.
Both of our moms were amazing cooks.
Very different habits.
I don't know if Patty's frozen or I'm frozen, but somebody's frozen.
I don't know. Now you're frozen. But you know what? Just keep going. It's funny.
We both froze for a minute. Okay, so literally this is cooking over a nice low heat. We just until it bubbles, just waiting for the brown sugar to dissolve, and it's done. So it'll be just another minute. When I was growing up, we did not.
Chef Chris is in the house.
All right, yay, Chef Chris, corporate executive chef from Purdue Farms. And becoming a good friend. And he's like our chef extraordinaire. So we ask him questions. And Chris, now that you're here, we have a question that we posed before you joined us. And that was, what is the difference between whipping cream and heavy whipping cream? I know you know this. So if you could do that, that'd be awesome.
Yes.
Okay, so this is done. And I'm just going to pour it over the top of this bread mixture that I've just created.
Yum. So this recipe is also in John's cookbook. I have no problem with shameless plugs, which is killing it on Amazon. So congratulations again, John.
Thank you. Yeah, it sold out. They had to
That's
go into another printing. That's crazy.
I'm not going to say I have a lot to do with it, but a lot of my friends and my clients have told me, and my family members have purchased your cookbook.
Oh, that's so wonderful. Thank you.
It's cool. It's pretty fun.
So when I was growing up, because my parents insisted that we go to Christmas Mass on Christmas morning, we would have to prioritize that over opening presents, which was a super big drag. So our tradition was that we would open all of our Christmas presents on Christmas Eve instead of Christmas morning. So that on Christmas morning, we could just get up and go to Mass and then come home and have brunch. So that's the way we did it my whole life growing up. Luckily, I get to set my own rules, and that's not the way we do it in our house. And oh, by the way, we don't go to church. But back in the day, that was a thing.
I was always jealous of those families that got to open their presents on Christmas Eve. When I got older, or like still a child, I convinced my parents we could open one present on Christmas Eve. But that was it, just one.
That's what we do now. We open one present on Christmas Eve just to keep everyone's, excitement level within reason.
Very good.
Okay, so this is all ready with the topping and the cubed bread, and it's ready to go in the oven.
Or the freezer, right?
Well, I'm going to put this one in the freezer because I've already made one, which is in the oven cooking and starting to smell amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go on, and I'll make the second part of this, and you can make your gin fizzes after that. Does that sound good?
Sounds great. I'm going to get some ice.
Okay, so I'm glad Chef Chris is on. This is Neiman Ranch.
Come back.
Okay. We lost everybody, but we're back.
All right, good.
Okay, so right where I was. Okay, this is Neiman Ranch Applewood smoked bacon. You can get it on PurdueFarms.com. It is thick cut, and it smells so good. It smells like smoky-licious. So we're going to make candied bacon, basically. We're going to make brown sugar bacon. So I've got the brown sugar in a little bowl, and I'm just going to sprinkle it. It's about 3/4 of a cup, and I'm just going to sprinkle it on top of the bacon that we're going to bake in the oven. Patty, why don't you tell us about baking the bacon instead of frying the bacon?
Oh, it's a great hack that I adopted a few years ago. When you want to make a lot of bacon, well, I think that was my initial motivation, was I wanted to make a lot of bacon and I didn't want to have to do a bunch of batches. And then of course, when you make bacon on the stove, it can become a big greasy mess and it splatters all over the place. Even if you have like the really cool splatter guard like I have, which I love. So all you have to do is line a pan of baking sheet with foil and one with a little edge so that, so the fat doesn't drip in your oven. Just sidebar, anybody else like what's with cleaning your oven? Like my oven gets so dirty, it just like lights on fire. But anyway, that happens now and then. Anyway, so you just, it's 400 degrees for about 15 minutes. It depends on how well you want your bacon done. If you want it more, you know, around 15 minutes, 18 minutes. If you want it crispier, you just have to check it. But it's such a great way to make it. They stay nice and flat. They cook really easily. And it's super easy cleanup because you line that pan with foil. So try it if you've never tried it. All right, Chef Chris. Ooh. It's about the fat. I said it was calories. It's fat.
See? But it doesn't sound like it's a whole lot different. So I don't know. Thanks, Chris. Okay, so I've taken this Neiman Ranch Applewood smoked bacon, thick cut. I've laid it in the pan like Patty has instructed on a piece of foil in a pan with a lip so that the fat doesn't scoot away and light a fire in my oven. And I've sprinkled the top of it with 3/4 of a cup across the top of all of these of brown sugar. And that's it.
That's it.
So throwing it in the oven.
I also already made mine in advance. I might already have mine done over there because
That's it.
So check it out. Let's see how I did.
Yes.
I only have one oven. It is like little pieces of candy, to be honest. So I had to be crafty because I only have one oven. So I had to cook it because it cooks at a different temperature than the French toast.
So there is a restaurant out in the Palm Springs area where Patty lives with her husband that I love, and we go every time we're out there, and it's called Cheeky's. And Cheeky's serves bacon flights. And these bacon flights are on a plate, and they're labeled, and there's 4 different flavors of bacon. One might be brown sugar, like we just showed you. One might be jalapeno.
I remember
One might be chipotle. And one might be like, I don't know, cinnamon or something. I mean, like, they have very, very unusual collection of choices. But every morning you go, and they have a bacon flight, and it's different. Every day it's different. So you might go the next day, and it's not the same flavors. But I love that place. Of course,
awesome.
Bacon. I eat bacon pretty much anytime, anywhere. But this will be a really good, delicious candied bacon. And it's kind of sweet and salty, and it's like salted caramel in a way, if you like that flavor combo, which I love. So the bacon and the brown sugar together. All right, so while that's cooking, do you want to show us Gin Fizz?
I do, but I have to tell you, I'm laughing because I can see my neighbor. So my neighbors and our numbers of our addresses are 1-digit reversed. So we constantly get each other's packages in mail. So my little neighbor is bringing this huge box to my front door right now, which I'm not going to go help her because I'm horrible. But I'm so excited because what's in it is a shipment of raspberry vinegar, not raspberry balsamic vinegar, raspberry vinegar. And John doesn't know this yet because I haven't had a chance to tell him. But in a future episode, I want to make my raspberry chicken, which is, she knocked on the door, but I can't answer. Hopefully she'll just leave it. Which is this, like, again, a family favorite, super easy, great dish, but it's hard to find raspberry vinegar. So I found it online like 2 days ago, and it just arrived from Las Vegas right now. I'm so excited. So anyway, sidebar, we'll do that in a future episode. So Gin Fizz, I think I need to answer the door. She's really knocking. Should I answer it?
No.
No? Okay.
You're busy.
All right, I'm busy. I just don't want her to take my vinegar back. Okay, anyway, so Gin Fizz is probably familiar with it. The origin story is kind of cool. It's one of these old, legendary cocktails, and it was first appeared in a cookbook in 1876. So it was called The Bartender's Guide by a guy named Jerry Thomas. So we're making a Gin Fizz. There's also the slow Gin Fizz, which is, if you've ever seen that, they're red because they're made with sloe gin, which is made from a red berry. So when I was in college.
I have a question about that. It's sloe, SLOE. Is that right?
Yes, it's not slow like a sloth. Yes, so it's sloe gin from the sloe berry, I believe. Sloe gin. So the funny sidebar, when I was in college, having drunk Gin Fizzes and been around Gin Fizzes my whole life, I was at a convention in New Orleans, not New Orleans, in Louisiana, and they made slow Gin Fizzes. And I was like, what the heck is that? Why is the Gin Fizz red? They're delicious. They're super sweet, tart. But let's get back to this Gin Fizz. This Gin Fizz is going to be white. And the most famous Gin Fizz is the Ramus Gin Fizz, which is what most people are familiar with. And a guy named Henry Ramus invented it in New Orleans in 1888. And he owned a bar called the Imperial Cabinet. But here's the funny thing. He was a teetotaler, so he didn't drink. And he didn't really want people getting too drunk at his bar either. So at 8 o'clock, he cut everybody off. But he enhanced the recipe for the Gin Fizz, for the traditional Gin Fizz, and he added heavy cream and orange flower water. So we'll talk about that orange flower water in a second. But here's the cool thing. So the original recipe called for the drink to be shaken for 20 minutes because it has egg whites in it. And you want to get this frothy, creamy mixture. And we're going to have lime and lemon. So you've got citrus, and you've got tart, and you've got sweet, and you've got cream. So picture these guys in the early 1900s, all lined up. They would have hired 20 bartenders. For one Mardi Gras, he hired 35, all in a row, like assembly line style, shaking. One guy would get tired, the next guy would come in, shake. Isn't that crazy? So my Gin Fizz story is a little different. As many things I've discovered, my mother has a slightly unorthodox spin on the Gin Fizz. But John's Christmas morning story, having to go to church before he could come home and open any presents that were left, mine was slightly different. Mine was, and you have to keep in mind that my sisters are 8 and 10 years older than I am. So they were kind of over it or more calm or whatever. But I was the little girl who got up and couldn't wait for Christmas, wanted to open my presents. But before we could open presents, my mother had to make a Gin Fizz for my father and herself. So I would wait there patiently, staring at my stocking, waiting for the presents. And as soon as I heard the blender, the Gin Fizzes were done. It was time to open presents. So my mom would bring out a Gin Fizz for her, my dad, and an eggnog for me, and then we could open presents. So I'm pretty sure, doing my research, I have not seen any other recipes where they make Gin Fizz in a blender. But leave it to my mother, Patty Finn, to figure out the hack to speed up the Gin Fizzes for Christmas morning, right? I'm pretty sure, I feel like my parents were like day drinking pioneers, you know? So this recipe, if you've made Gin Fizzes, it's going to be a little different. It's going to be it's going to look a little different. It's going to come together much faster, and it's going to taste amazing. So the way you do it is get your glass, and I want you guys to know this is the exact same glass my mother used to make the Gin Fizzes in. This is one of her Waterford crystal glasses. So you fill the glass up with ice, although my ice has melted a little bit. That's okay. And that means that's where you know how much ice you need. Then we're going to add, now just to let you know, on the blog, the recipe is going to be for 2 drinks, because I guess if you're making one, you should probably make 2. But I'm only making 1 today because I'm home alone. So then we're going to take, let's see, I'm going to put my cream next so I can use this. All right, so I'm making half. So we're going to use, talk about this, half a cup of not heavy cream, half and half. I also like to think of this as like my mother's Christmas morning milkshake, because it's frothy and creamy. Bombay gin. Who does this remind you of, John Bailey?
I know, John Ingham, Commander John Ingham, who always had to have his gin. His gin and tonics.
You can make it. There's different theories about what kind of gin you should use. If you're a gin drinker, you can, look into that. So 2 ounces of gin, which I would normally do with a jigger. 1 egg white. So my husband obviously is the one who normally makes the drinks because he's the mixologist. And we did a test run on Sunday, and he was separating the egg right over the blender, not like I did it. And I was like, honey, be careful. He goes, Patty, it's not my first rodeo. He was so insulted. It was so funny. My husband is very chill and rarely shows any sort of, shall we say, emotion. And he was just offended. Then we're going to do the juice of half a lemon and half a lime. And if you make margaritas or any other kind of drinks that use citrus, what I've learned from my mixologist husband is that, you never know how juicy it's going to be, how strong the flavor of the citrus is going to be. So that's why we're going to put in this yummy citrus. And then we're going to add some sugar in a second, but we're going to adjust the sugar based on how tart the citrus is. So this is where you can adjust it. So here's orange flower water, and I did not do my orange flower water research. I now realize this is something that was just always in my house growing up. There's actually a recipe for the Ramus Gin Fizz right on the bottle. Let's see if it's anything like mine.
So I looked all over. I went to 3 stores to try and find orange flower water, and no one had it. So I am sitting here watching Patty make a Gin Fizz because I don't have the ingredients.
You can make it without orange flower water. There's a lot of variations, but I don't know. So we're just going to do, what do I do? 2 shakes. 1, 2. I mean, 3 stores to look for 2 shakes. That was dedication, John.
I tried.
I know, I appreciate it. And then now some powdered sugar. I'm just going to use my fingers. I'm going to put in a little bit. And now I'm going to be honest, I'm a little nervous about this part because this is Scott's job. And when he was doing the run through on Sunday, I kept getting distracted and I forgot to pay attention. Pardon me?
You distracted?
I know, weird, right? There was probably a dog walking.
Weird.
All right, let's see.
So bizarre.
Puree, whip, mix, blend, cafe, mixify. All right, let's see how our ice is looking. Ooh.
So when I was growing up, my mom made Orange Julius's at home. Does anyone remember Orange Julius? I don't even know if they still exist.
This is
But
kind of.
it seems like it's
Fizz.
Yeah.
With orange juice instead of.
Yeah. Were you
Right.
talking?
I was pretending. I was being funny. Is our French toast ready, John?
Yeah, mine's done.
Is it? Did you take it out?
Yeah.
I think I
And
should
the
take it.
bacon's almost done.
All right. Oh my God, it's incredible.
Here, look. So
Oh,
this is the French toast, all finished.
what is this?
Bakey-licious.
Woo!
See, look, Patty, show yours again.
Okay.
So Patty did the pieces of bread cut on the diagonal. I did the cubes, and they both work. It turned out the same. Delicious, delicious.
Okay, let's serve this drink. Mama's thirsty. So frothy.
It's almost time.
Look at that. Oh my gosh, I did it. I did it. Oh, my mother would be so proud. So if you like nutmeg, I know John doesn't, and I know it can be a very polarizing flavor. So if you like it, again, never seen nutmeg garnished on any other Gin Fizz recipe, but apparently my parents liked nutmeg. So, and it does add a little color. So there we have this beautiful, frothy,
You know, Patty, I think your mom did like nutmeg because wasn't there nutmeg in that spinach casserole that we made too? Like
spinach.
yeah, she liked her nutmeg.
Okay, so don't tell Scott, please. Anybody watching, this is circle of trust right here. Mine's better than the one he made on Sunday.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm totally telling them.
Oh my God, this is so good. So have a great day. Good night.
Okay, so here's my candied bacon.
Beautiful.
And when I was pulling it off the pan, it's like sticky and like, oh, it's amazing. So I put it on paper towels just to soak up some of the grease. But you guys, it's like there's little strings of candied brown sugar. Oh, this looks good.
I did make a boo-boo this morning when I was making my bacon. I did put it on paper towels, and if you let it really cool all the way down on your paper towel, you might get a little paper towel debris when you take your bacon off the paper towel.
Oh, a little gras doux sticks to the bacon. All right.
But that's all right. All right, let's see. Okay, got this thing. Oh my gosh. So it was really weird today to get dressed, to get up, in my PJs, do a few things, take a shower, and put on some different PJs. But I kind of loved it.
Are these your dress PJs?
These are my formal PJs.
Your formal PJs?
I'm not that person who hangs out in their pajamas all day. I get up, I do my thing. So this feels weird, but now that I have a Gin Fizz and French toast, it honestly feels amazing. All right. I'm doing my diagonal thing fancy.
So I'm going to show you how it can be served. So this is a piece of the baked French toast, and I've put some strawberries on the plate with it. And I'm going to drizzle a little creme fraiche that I've kind of thinned a little bit so that you can drizzle it and make it all pretty. And that is it. So it's already kind of sweet. And the creme fraiche, I put a little sugar and I just thinned it out a little bit with some milk. And I've got these strawberries. I've served it with powdered sugar on the top and berries. And I think Patty's going to serve hers with the maple syrup, right, Patty?
I did. I've got a little maple syrup I'm going to drizzle, and I've also done powdered sugar because today's theme is sugar. Sugar in your alcohol, sugar on your protein, sugar.
Well, it's the holidays.
It is. And you know what? It's a tough time this year, and sugar makes me happy. Darlene! Oh, good. Oh, look. Now Darlene is one of my friends, fellow jazzercise instructor, incredible cook. And her recipe doesn't use half and half for her Gin Fizzes. She uses heavy whipping cream. That's it.
For the fat content.
I love it. All right. So there's the triangle version with the bacon, with the powdered sugar. Oh my God. I love it. I love the two different styles.
I think I'm going to eat this now.
I am. I'm definitely going to eat this now.
Yeah. A little piece of bacon, a little candied bacon.
I'm going to pretend I just got up. I'm in my pajamas. I have a Gin Fizz. It's morning.
So there you have it. Really very, very easy to prepare this. We're going to share the recipes on the blog. So just tune in to the blog, twodadswithbaggage.com, just a little bit later this afternoon, and those will be live so that you can make this yourselves for breakfast, for dinner, for Christmas morning, anytime, really. So remember that you can freeze this, or you can make it the night before and then just plop it in the oven the morning of to cook. So there's a lot of variation, and it's very, very easy.
I love it. So fun. So we are going on a little Christmas vacation. We've done 20 episodes in 2020. We figured that was a good time to put a little pause. So we'll be back in 2021 with our 21st episode. And we've got some great ideas coming up. If you have any ideas of things you're wondering about, something you'd like to see us make or try to make, a wine question, a cocktail question, something else from John's book, anything, we're here for you. And we are so happy that you're here for us. So thank you. It's been, I can't believe we've done 20 episodes, John.
I know, I can't believe it. Everyone have a really, really wonderful holiday. Take a nice break. Eat all the things. Drink all of the things. That's what the holidays are for. And this year is so weird. You should get to do whatever you want and eat whatever you want. So that's my gift to you. Just indulge.
All things in moderation, including moderation, right? Right.
All right, guys. We'll see you soon in 2021. Have a wonderful holiday.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.
Bye.